Hello everyone, Nick the DM here, and welcome to part 2 of my series in reviewing the optional class features in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. If you haven't seen part 1, that's already up on my channel, so go check it out if you want. And a little disclaimer before we start, all of these reviews I recorded in one lump sum, and then I've just cut and paste and put the certain parts together to account for time, because the total review was too long, so I've separated into these 3 parts. So right now when I'm talking, I've already finished recording those reviews, and those are what you're going to see next. So any discrepancies or errors with my talking or referring to earlier classes and they're just going to be in the video. It's my fault. I should have reviewed them in shorter portions. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the video, and in this video we are checking out the Ranger, the Druid, and the Sorcerer. Hope you enjoy it and have fun. Next up is the Druid. So, just like our other spellcasters, it starts at first level, the new Druid feature, with new spells added to the Druid spell list. First level, Protection from Good and Evil. Second level, Augury, a Continual Flame, Enlarge Reduce, and Summon Beast, which is a new one. Third level, Aura of Vitality, Elemental Weapon, Revivify, and Summon Fae. Summon Fae is also a new one. Fourth level, Divination, Ritual, Fire Shield, and Summon Elemental. Also a new one. They're getting a lot of new spells here. Fifth level, Cone of Cold. Sixth level, Flesh to Stone. Seventh level, Symbol. And eighth level, Incendiary Cloud. A lot of new spells. I love these spells. Again, I'm going to touch on them in a future episode. I love those spells specifically. And I kind of want to play a Druid. If I ever played. I'm the forever DM. Next up, we have Wild Companion. So, second level Druid feature, you gain the ability to summon a spirit that assumes an animal form. As an action, you can expend a use of your Wild Shape feature to cast the Find Familiar spell without material components. When you cast the spell in this way, the familiar is a Fae instead of a beast, and the familiar disappears after a number of hours equal to half your Druid level. Now, clarifying here, this does not mean you get to choose a Fae creature instead of a beast for Find Familiar. When you summon it, it takes the form of a beast, but you can choose Fae, Fiend, or Celestial as its actual type. This way, you don't get that option. It is just a Fae. Took me a second, because the wording on this confused me. I was probably just tired, but it just means that it is considered a Fae, not a beast, so certain spells wouldn't work against it. But, yeah, you don't get to summon a Fae. I had to clarify this for myself, so I'm letting you know. So this is pretty good, especially for those people who want to play Druid for more spell casting, but still want like an animal companion. This is kind of the way you do it. Now, of course, it's just a familiar, but it's still a kind of a trade-off. It's a free use of Find Familiar if you're not using your wild shapes. But yeah, I kind of do like it, and I like that it kind of makes you choose this has to be a Fae because it works in with the Druid's spell casting and that. Next, we have Cantrip Versatility. Again, 4th level Druid feature. Whenever you reach a level in this class that grants you the Ability Score Improvement feature, you can replace one cantrip you learn from this class's spell list with another cantrip from the Druid spell list. Again, I won't touch on this again, or I won't keep touching on why I like it, but I do like Cantrip Versatility. You can change it around. Works with Druids especially because, like, if you expect to be in a forest the whole time, you might be right. If you're in the Feywild, that works for you. If you're not in the Feywild, if you're in the Underdark, a lot of your things might not work as well as you want them to. And that's the only options we get for Druid. Next up, we have a kind of funny one, Ranger, which they call it optional class features. I call it Revised Ranger 2.0, because anyone who knows Ranger knows it is often made fun of a lot. And this is because it didn't seem to balance well with the other classes in terms of they got a lot more stuff. They released, Wizards of the Coast released a UA Revised Ranger, which was pretty good, but I kind of had, I liked some of the changes, I didn't like some of the changes. That would be a different video if I decided to make it. But this one, what they've done with Tasha's is instead of officializing the Revised Ranger, they let out for UA. This new Ranger works off of the old Ranger, but now all of these abilities are just astronomically change how the actual feature works, or how the actual class works. First up, we have Deft Explorer, which is a first level ranger feature which replaces the natural explorer feat. You are an unsurpassed explorer and survival, both in the wilderness and in dealing with others on your travels. You gain the candy benefit below, and you gain an additional benefit when you reach 6th level and 10th level in this class. So for these ones, you get a lot of things for Deft Explorer. So first level, you get Canny. Choose one of your skill proficiencies. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make with that chosen skill. You can also speak, read, and write 2 additional languages of your choice. So an expertise and 2 additional languages. That's pretty good. Then at 6th level, your walking speed increases by 5, and you gain a climbing speed and a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. Very maneuverable now. It's actually pretty impressive. I do like it. And then Tireless, 10th level. As an action, you can give yourself a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1. You can use this action a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. In addition, whenever you finish a short rest, your exhaustion level, if any, is decreased by 1. So you're very experienced at getting your breath back. Now, what does this sacrifice? So you sacrifice the Natural Explorer feature, which at first level, you're particularly familiar with one type of environment. This is why it was an issue. It was one type of environment. If your campaign didn't all take place in this area, you're kind of screwed. So your proficiency bonus is doubled if you're using a skill. Now, this was kind of good because Natural Explorer, it was anything intelligence or wisdom-based skills, your proficiency bonus was doubled for. But then it also involved travel. While traveling for an hour or more in your favorite terrain, you gain the following benefits. Difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. Your group can't become lost by magical means. Even when you're engaged in another activity while traveling, such as foraging, navigating, or tracking, you remain alert to danger. If you're traveling alone, you can move stealthy at a normal pace, which is a different pacing, which is covered in other books. When you forage, you find twice as much food as you normally would. When tracking other creatures, you learn their exact number, their sizes, and how long ago they passed through the area. You can also gain additional favorite terrains at 6th and 10th level. So you can basically... So it's a little bit of give and take. This was a big issue because people were like, well, you only get 1. But as you level up, you get access to up to 3 favorite terrains, which can be Arctic, coast, desert, forest, grassland, mountain, swamp, or the Underdark, which is basically an underneath world, but let's not get into that. That's a big topic. So Natural Explorer isn't that bad, but a lot of the times it won't matter. Like, difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. If anything, the only way to roleplay slowing your travel, unless they have a deadline, the party's not going to notice, or they're going to get bored because they're traveling so long. Your group can't become lost except by magical means. This can work if you get them lost in forests often. So if you're in a large forest and they're trying to find their way out and they don't just completely walk in a straight line, which is why you need to put like difficult terrain and stuff. So this can be useful. Even when you're engaged in other activities such as traveling, or while traveling, such as foraging, navigating, or tracking, you remain alert to danger. So you won't get like disadvantage on perception checks and that, or you won't get surprised when you're doing other things. It can be okay, especially during ambushes. If you're traveling alone, you can move stealthy at a normal pace. That's pretty good, but you seldom travel alone, and seldom at a long enough time span that you'd use the stealthy pace, or the normal. Use stealthy in place of normal pace. When you forage, you find twice as much food as you normally would. That's actually amazing for like realistic settings. So like, I do like that. And tracking other creatures, you find their exact numbers, their sizes, and how long ago they passed through the area. It can be very good if you're tracking creatures or if you expect an ambush is coming up. So both Deft Explorer and Natural Explorer are good in their own right. It's just it all depends on what scenario you have them in. Deft Explorer is definitely better all around, where Natural Explorer you are excelled in these specific areas. I'm telling you right now, that's the first ability. Ranger is going to be long because I got to explain some of this stuff. Favored Foe, the next optional feature. The first level Ranger feature, which replaces the favored enemy and works with Foe Slayer, both of which I'll touch on after this. When you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can call upon your mystical bond with nature to mark the creature as your favored enemy for 1 minute or until you lose concentration, as if you're concentrating on a spell. The first time on each of your turns that you hit the favored enemy and deal damage to it, including when you mark it, you can increase that damage by 1d4. You can use this feature to mark a favored enemy up to a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This feature's extra damage increases when you reach certain levels in this class, 1d6 at 6th level and 1d8 at 14th level. So not only do you no longer need a specific favored enemy, you can do it on anyone, you can do it a number of times, you can concentrate, and you deal extra damage to it whenever you hit them, whenever you hit the marked creature. And it does more damage as you level up. As opposed to favored enemy, which, beginning at first level, you have significant experience studying, tracking, and hunting, and even talking to a certain type of enemy. Choose a type of favored enemy: aberrations, beasts, celestials, constructs, dragons, elemental, fae, fiends, giants, monstrosities, oozes, plants, or undead. Alternatively, you can select 2 races of humanoids, such as gnolls and orcs, as favored enemies. You have advantage on survival checks to track them, as well as intelligence check to recall information about them. When you gain this feature, you also learn one language of your choice that is spoken by your favored enemy, if they speak one at all. You can choose 1 additional favored enemy as well as an associated language at 6th and 14th level. As you gain levels, your choices should reflect the type of monsters you have encountered on your adventures. So, favored enemy is not bad. It's the same thing. It's situational, and you can only choose like 3 types. But if you choose aberrations, and most of the things you fight are like beasts or dragons or elementals, not going to work. Or if at a certain point you level up far enough that you're like, okay, we're doing dragons, and then the campaign moves and shifts focus, it's gonna kind of mess with you. Meanwhile, the newest one, you can choose new ones right on the fly, and it works with Foe Slayer. Now, what's Foe Slayer, you may ask? I say as if you're asking the screen. Foe Slayer, at 20th level, you become an unparalleled hunter of your enemies. Once on each of your turns, you can add your wisdom modifier to the attack roll or the damage roll of an attack you make against one of your favored enemies. You can choose to use this feature before or after the roll, but before any effects of the roll are applied. So, if you have a high wisdom, you can add that to your attack or damage roll once per turn. Yeah, once on each of your turns. So, very good, especially when you specify a new enemy, especially if there's one BBEG. You focus on him, the other party take care of the minion, you just deal a lot of damage to this guy. Now, because they're also spellcasters, they gain additional ranger spells. First level, Entangle and Searing Smite. Second level, Aid, Enhance Ability, Gust of Wind, Magic Weapon, and Summon Beast. Summon Beast being new. Third level, Elemental Weapon, Meld into Stone, Revivify, Summon Fae. Summon Fae is new. Fourth level, Dominate Beast, Summon Elemental. Summon Elemental's new. Fifth level, Greater Restoration. New fighting styles. The ones that I've covered before, I'm not going to cover again. Blind Fighting, we've gone through this. Thrown Weapon Fighting, this is the one where you can draw it and throw it, which is pretty good. The new one is Druidic Warrior, kind of like what the Paladin has. You learn 2 cantrips of your choice from the Druid spell list. They count as ranger spells for you, and Wisdom use your spellcasting ability for them. Whenever you gain a level in this class, you can replace one of these cantrips with another cantrip from the Druid spell list. Again, same reason I love the Cleric one. Way more versatile, and especially for rangers who were very specific at one point, but now with the new options can grow out from there. Thrown Weapon might be good for them as well. Druidic Warrior, it all depends if you're playing a more physical-based or more spellcasting-based ranger. Next is the Spellcasting Focus, second level ranger feature. You can use a Druidic Focus as a spellcasting focus for your ranger spells. A Druidic Focus might be the Sprig of Mistletoe or Holly, a wand or rod made of yew or another special wood, a staff drawn whole from a living tree, or an object incorporating feathers, fur, bone, and teeth from sacred animals. So you basically have new options for spellcasting focuses, like a druid. Third level, Primal Awareness, which replaces the Primeval Awareness feature. I like the naming on that. That was very well done. I appreciate wordplay and the little swap they did there. Primal Awareness. You can focus your awareness through the interconnections of nature. You learn additional spells when you reach certain levels in the class, and if you don't already know them, as shown in the Primal Awareness spells table. These spells don't count against the number of ranger spells you know. So Primal Awareness spells, you gain 3rd level, you get Speak with Animals at 5th level, Beast Sense, 9th level, Speak with Plants, 13th level, Locate Creature, 17th level, Commune with Nature. You can cast each of these spells once without expending a spell slot. Once you cast a spell in this way, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. This is absolutely amazing. Like, these aren't like super damaging spells, but they can be very useful, because not only do you get these and they don't count against your spells that you know, these are free spells. You can cast each of these spells once without expending a spell slot. You get 5 free spells when you get to the higher levels. That's absolutely amazing. Now, what do you sacrifice for this, though? So this is Primal Awareness. You sacrifice the Primeval Awareness. Beginning at 3rd level, you can use your action and expend 1 Ranger spell slot to focus your awareness on the region around you. For 1 minute per level of the spell slot you expend, you can sense whether the following types of creatures are present within 1 mile of you, or up to 6 miles if you are in your favored terrain. Aberrations, Celestials, Dragons, Elementals, Fae, Fiend, and Undead. This feature doesn't reveal the creature's location or number. I mean, is there really a contest between that? Primal Awareness just seems so much better. Primeval Awareness, well, great, especially if you are a low-level party and you need to make sure you're not near a dragon's den. That's pretty good. But if you do some research beforehand, or if you're very stealthy, you might have a chance of being able to do that. And then you get Primal Awareness, which you get free spells. Like, I'm tipping the favor in favor of Primal Awareness here. I just find it so much better. Martial Versatility, as with the other martial classes, whenever you reach a level in this class that grants the ability score improvement, you can replace a fighting style you know with another fighting style, available to Rangers. Now, Nature's Veil is the next one, 10th level Ranger feature, which replaces the Hide in Plain Sight feature, which I'll go over. Nature's Veil. You draw on the powers of nature to hide yourself from view briefly. As a bonus action, you can magically become invisible along with any equipment you are wearing or carrying until the start of your next turn. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This is free invisibility for a turn, and you can use this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. I see no downsides with this. So what are you replacing? Hide in Plain Sight. Starting at 10th level, you can spend 1 minute creating camouflage for yourself. You must have access to fresh mud, dirt, plants, soot, or other naturally occurring materials with which to create your camouflage. Once you are camouflaged in this way, you can try to hide by pressing yourself up against a solid surface, such as a tree or wall that is at least as tall and wide as you are. You gain a +10 bonus to stealth checks as long as you remain there without moving or taking actions. Once you move or take an action or a reaction, you must camouflage yourself again to gain this benefit. It is, I'm gonna say this, I don't think nearly as good as Nature's Veil. But I like it thematically better, because you're a ranger, you're more at tune with nature, you can make camouflage for yourself easier. I like it thematically more, but Nature's Veil just seems so much more useful. And it doesn't take a full minute to do this. It takes a bonus action for Nature's Veil to turn invisible. Hide in Plain Sight takes a full minute of camouflage. Now, the upside for Hide in Plain Sight is you gain a bonus to stealth checks. Now this, and if you use Pass Without a Trace, insanely high stealth. Also, if a creature has blind sense or blind sight, they could see you if you're invisible, or if they have true sight. Meanwhile, Hide in Plain Sight isn't magical, so you could hide from them easier. So both are a give and take. So it may seem like Nature's Veil is way better, but if you have a DM who doesn't just have creatures just ignore everything, some with true sight, some with blind sight, the Hide in Plain Sight might actually be better. So it's a little bit of give and take. And that, after I don't know how long I spent talking, is it for the Ranger's optional features. So Revised Ranger 2.0, basically. I like it. Moving on. Sorcerer. Starting with additional Sorcerer spells. For cantrips, they gain access to Booming Blade, Green Flame Blade, Lightning Lure, Mind Sliver, and Sword Burst. First level, Grease and Tasha's Caustic Brew, which is a new one. Second level, Flame Blade, Flaming Sphere, Magic Weapon, Tasha's Mind Whip, new one. 3rd level, Intellect Fortress, new one, Vampiric Touch. 4th level, Fire Shield. 5th level, Bigby's Hand. 6th level, Flesh to Stone, Autoluke's Freezing Sphere, and Tasha's Otherworldly Guise, which is a new one. 7th level, Dream of the Blue Veil, new one. 8th level, Demiplane. 9th level, Blade of Disaster, new spell. I honestly am scared of this spell. I'm honestly more scared of this spell than I am of Wish. I'll touch on that in the spells video. For 3rd level with your Sorcerer optional features, you gain new meta magics. So you gain Seeking Spell, or options anyways, you don't automatically get them. Seeking Spell. If you make an attack roll for a spell and miss, you can spend 2 sorcery points to reroll the d20 and you must take the new roll. You can use the Seeking Spell even if you have already used a different meta magic option during the casting of the spell. So a secondary meta magic for basically dual wielding meta magics. Pretty good. Then Transmuted Spell. I like this one. If I'm ever playing a Sorcerer again, I'm using this. Transmuted Spell. When you cast a spell that deals a type of damage from the following list, you can spend 1 sorcery point to change that type of damage into one of the other types. So if you have a spell that deals either acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder damage, you can spend a sorcery point to change that type to one of the others of acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder. So, it's just like the Transmutation Wizard. That's honestly one of my favorite wizard subclasses. Then we have Sorcerer's Versatility. I'm going to give you a few guesses as to what this is. Whenever you reach a level in this class that grants you the Ability Score Improvement feature, you can do one of the following, representing the magic within you flowing in a new way. That's good new wording. I do like how that wording has changed. Firstly, replace one of the options you choose for the Meta Magic feature with a different Meta Magic option available to you. I like that. Replace one cantrip you learned from this class's spellcasting feature with another cantrip from a Sorcerer spell list. So, just like the other spellcasters, is very versatile, but you can also change your meta magics. That's pretty good. 5th level Sorcerer's feature. Magical Guidance. You tap into your inner wellspring of magic to try and conjure success from failure. When you make an ability check that fails, you can spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll the d20, and you must use the new roll, potentially turning the failure into a success, or a near success into a massive failure. Let's not forget that one. That last little bit was added by me. I don't want getting in trouble. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. It's basically lucky. It's basically the lucky feat. But yeah, I don't have much more to say. I do like how they add the thematic things. You tap into your inner wellspring of magic. I love thematic stuff like that. But that's pretty good, and that is it for the Sorcerer. Moving on. Alright everyone, and that is all we have for the Ranger, Sorcerer, and Druid. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave it a like and subscribe for more videos like this. I plan on doing more reviews in the future, but as of right now, this is the only review on my channel. Otherwise, it's just monsters and stuff like that from earlier editions, or anything that I think that I've improved on from 5th edition, in my opinion. Stay tuned for next video, for the final video of Tasha's optional class features, which is going to focus on the Barbarian, Bard, Monk, Rogue, Warlock, and Wizard. It seems like a lot, but they're a lot shorter, so it's more manageable. Anyways, again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!